Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you're looking after yourselves. Welcome to another episode of the Hustle Chronicles. This is the podcast where you want to learn about amazing entrepreneurs, freelancers, but also the realism of entrepreneurs. Even though we're called the Hustle Chronicles, we have a realistic expectation and knowledge of what that is. And as you know, this year has seen us bringing back some familiar faces to see how their business has grown and developed over the last 12 months. We have a familiar face with us today. Also, as I have been saying, we will put a link to the previous episode. Again, I don't know on YouTube which corner it goes on, but one of these corners you'll see a pop-up about it, so please do check that out as well. But enough from me. We're going to hear from our guest speaker who will be reintroducing themselves. Mayo, it's great to have you back. Could we please rehear what you do and what you've been up to?
Yeah, for context, we recorded and we're doing this again, so that's why I'm laughing. Because I know what's happened. But to reintroduce myself again, my name's Mayo. I am a female founder, a social entrepreneur. I am 25 now, a year on. And I have an incredible, amazing, stupendous, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious social enterprise called the Lady Powerhouse CIC. We support female founders to grow and thrive both personally and professionally. We're in the business of supporting the women behind the business.
That's incredible. Thank you very much. We're going to dive straight in with your last year. So we're going to look back, and you have had a big year. Obviously, we're connected on multiple platforms. I've been seeing all the stuff you've been doing. Let's look back. As we mentioned in the previous time we recorded this, the first time I got in touch with you about being back on the podcast, we were wearing the same outfits we were in January, like when the episode had come out. So let's take a look back. January 2024, episode's out, people are learning about you, what you do. What has been, or what in that last year, what has been the biggest revelation, but also what has been the biggest challenge since then?
So the biggest revelation is, I'm not going to try and say it the same way because I don't remember the words I used, but the biggest revelation is that I can do it, that I'm so capable, and I was born for this. That's what I said, and I mean it. I was born for this, and not just for entrepreneurship, but to be the founder, CEO, driving force of the Lady Powerhouse CIC. The past year has really shown me that I'm good at this, but even more so, I'm passionate about this. And I love to see women's dreams come true. And I love to see the progress. And I love to see the smiles on people's faces when they've, put effort into something, they've gained opportunities, new avenues, and just greatness has come out on the other side. Kind of like a little bit of a tangent, one of the biggest things that I've realized this year is a lot of the time, especially as women in business, we kind of follow the narrative of like, okay, men are really successful in business. So for us to be successful in business, we need loads of money. And like, we need to make loads of money. And that defines how successful we are. But this year has really shown me, like, actually, what is my version of success? What am I working towards? What do I really want for myself? And being able to work towards that, game changer. And I feel like speaking to other women in the community and almost like reaffirming that they can do that for themselves as well. Like, the goal as an entrepreneur doesn't have to be being a millionaire, billionaire, gazillionaire. It can be being able to go on holiday whenever you want. It can be having kids, it can be having like a full family, it can be traveling the world, it can be rolling in money. Like, whatever it is, that's what you should be working towards and not just focusing on the money aspect of your business. And funnily enough, the more you do that, I feel like the more money comes in naturally anyway, because you're aligning your business with your version of success.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So then you get everything you need for it anyway. And challenge. I would say the biggest challenge has been imposter syndrome. That imposter. That imposter. I think over the past 12 months, as much as people have been telling me like how much I've done, and how great the community is and how impactful the community is. Sometimes when you look at it through your own lens, because you're doing small steps every day, incremental work, you don't see the outcome straight away and you think, oh, I'm not doing anything. So it really takes you stepping outside of yourself and looking at the journey as a whole to be like, oh, a lot has happened. But throughout the year, that was really big and challenging for me. Just not being able to see the great work, you know? Yeah. Can I throw it back at you?
Yeah, you can.
Since a year's passed, what's been your biggest revelation and your biggest challenge, if they're the same thing or separate?
I think they're separate. I won't do a cop-out answer and say they're the same. I'll keep it separate. I think biggest revelation was, it's like two. It's like I don't have to do everything, and if I don't work on Pick Up the Mic for 24 hours, that doesn't mean Pick Up the Mic isn't successful or is going to fail, it's going to crash and burn. And I think it was just like, there were times last year where I was like burning out, like work was busy, Pick Up the Mic was busy, I'm doing like loads of podcast recordings, maybe I'm doing loads of stuff at work, and I was just like getting to a point where like I was just like burning out, and I was just like, I'm really tired, but you know, I have to do this, I have to do this. And like I mentioned it on I don't know, like we recorded a lot of episodes in January, so I won't even try and say which one. But I mentioned it before that like one thing that really, what I found really interesting was, so I mentioned I'd used the YouVersion Bible app, and there was this plan all about like the Sabbath. And the person basically was saying like, oh look, like if God could even, like if God could rest on the seventh day, he was like, why can't you? And he was just like, why, whether that's you're working on your business, you know, you're thinking about like your next level, and you're just like, oh, you know, whether I'm going to change my career, I'm going to like, I don't know, do training, I'm gonna, like, you're doing sports, you want to train more, all of this, you're just like, if God could take like 24 hours of like no work and be like, I'm just gonna sit and admire what I've done, why can't you do that? And he was just like, it doesn't have to start off with 24 hours, it could start off with like 2 hours every day, and then it leads to like that. It could also be like blocking out your calendar and saying like, actually, you know what? I've got an out of office on every like Saturday. Or if I turn this out of office on, it's like, look, don't try and contact me, don't call me, don't message me. Just like, if you want to reach me and it's super urgent and it's not work related, cool. But if it's work related, don't talk to me. And I was just like, yeah, like that is so true. Like I don't need to work. Like, yes, there's stuff I do need to do on Pick Up the Mic, and it does sometimes feel like, yes, as a business owner, your like to-do list is always getting like longer, even if you tick off one thing, two things come up. But it's like, if you don't do something for 24 hours, that doesn't mean you're not a good business owner. That doesn't mean that you don't care about your business. And I think that's why, like, I didn't say it in this one, but like, that's why I say like the Hustle Chronicles is very like authentic in like what hustle culture is, because I feel like everyone tells you no, like you need to like work 24 hours, you need to like burn the midnight oil or do all of this stuff. And I'm not saying like there aren't times when crunch time is needed. We've all been there. But I'm saying like it's not sustainable long term, because you'll just be like burning out. And I think one like final thing on that point was someone was saying like, someone was talking to me last year about their own business, and they were like, you know, it was a lot of work, it was stressing them, and they were just like, I don't want it to be that like I don't live to see the fruits of my labor. Like I'm putting all this work into this business and I don't get to see it become the thing I want to because my health is put at risk or something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, that's so true, because everyone's just like, yeah, work 24 hours. Like people are putting videos on like podcast saying that, you know, there's like, I even saw one where a guy was like, oh, I don't have like 24-hour days, I actually have 3 days, and everyone's regular to like, because I maximize my day to have 6 hours, or people just like, oh, is it it's too much. Or even like I know they were joking about it, but like even like Trevor Noah and Kevin Hart were doing a podcast together, and they were talking about like how they like were doing their day, and then Trevor was just like, yeah, I wake up at 8, and then Kevin Hart was laughing like you're lazy or this and that, and then Trevor Noah was just like, look, I'm not one of you early morning tyrants that's just like, you got to be out by like the crack of dawn, sun's up 5 o'clock in the morning, you got to like sit for 20 minutes, then you go to the gym, do all this. He was like, no, like for me, the way that I work best is I need to get my sleep. And yeah, I feel like that, just like knowing that yes, you can take rest for your business, because you don't want it to be that when you do see, or like when the fruits of your labor like come out, you're not there to enjoy it, or you're not even in the same mindset, because you might just be like, oh, well, great. Like you said, maybe the community impact's really great, or maybe we're bringing in loads of money, but then you're just like, well, now I need to like get more and focus on that, and it just keeps on moving.
Or maybe even you end up resenting your business because of how much you've had to work and how burnt out you've become and how stressed you've been. When your business is successful, you don't even want to look at it. You don't even want to be a part of it anymore. You're just like, sell it off, I'm done, I've had enough. I want to, before you go to your challenge, I really want to touch on so much you just said.
Okay.
Because, okay, so the first thing is sleep. Sleep. Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
It's a mini rant. It's a story. I love this person that I'm talking about, but it's the reality of business. Like, okay. So, I go to the gym every morning now.
Okay.
I'm not usually a morning person these days, but I'm becoming it again. I used to be like, wake up at 6 a.m., yuck. But it's me now, I'll be honest. I do go to bed really early.
Okay.
This particular morning, I had been woken up at like 4 a.m. because my mum slipped down the stairs. Oh. She was fine. Okay. She was laughing. It was all good. But obviously, I woke up and I was in shock, so I couldn't go back to bed like after 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something like that. So I went to the gym, came back, I was exhausted. Took a 30-minute nap at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Someone then called me, and when they called me, I had just woken up from my nap. And I had a meeting in 5 minutes. So I was obviously a bit like, hello, like a bit, you know. They were like, oh, are you okay? You sound lackluster. I was like, yeah, I just woke up from a nap. They were like, a nap? Some of us are out of the house doing this, doing that, and you have time to sleep. And it just made me think, like, why have we convinced ourselves that as business owners we can't take the rest that we need? Why is it not the question of like, oh, I wonder why that person needed a nap or why that person needed to rest? And it's just instantly like, you're a business owner, you shouldn't be sleeping. You can't sleep on the job. When actually it's like, I'm a business owner, I'm self-employed, I have the flexibility and autonomy over my day. So if I need a nap so that I can function at my highest, I should be allowed to take a nap. And I feel like anyone in that position should be able to do so. Another thing you said, do you know what? I've got like 3 things in my head. I'm like, pick one. Where do we start? Another thing you said, I feel like, when it comes to working on your business and you have other things going on, just like you said, like it's okay to take a day off from that business to be able to work on something else. I feel like we get made so guilty. Like no matter what business you're in, as a business owner, you can become so guilty or feel like you're not working hard enough or you're not doing everything you can to make your business successful. But you are human first and you have a life first and you've got multiple responsibilities. And even if you work on your business once a week, it's still doing something, right? It doesn't have to be an overnight success. So having 24-hour break because you're not even having a break, you're working on something else. You're actually still doing something. It's actually really fine. And I had to learn that this year as well. So I'm glad you said that because I'm like, oh, it's not just me. It's not just me. Like, my day, I'm going to ask you what your day looks like in a sec. My day looks like, wake up at 6:30, get ready for the gym, leave for the gym at 10. Someone was at the door. Wake up at 6:30, get ready for the gym, leave the house at 6:45, go to the gym with my sister. Come home, get home for like 8 o'clock. So it's like a 45, 50-minute gym session, decent. Come home, my sister showers, goes to work. I shower, and then I eat. And I take an hour. And I take my time because I'm hungry. And I deserve food. I need fuel. Then I get to work. So if I've got any meetings or whatever, I should take a lunch. I'm a workaholic. So sometimes I don't, which is why I take my time in the morning, right? I work whatever. By the end of the day, it's like 9 p.m. I go to bed for 10. Like I'm asleep for 10. That way I get my 8 hours of sleep. Okay. What's your day like as a business owner / part-time worker?
Good question. My days are definitely less planned than yours. So I would say usually between 7 or 8 a month. I usually spend like, it's now like changed a bit. So this time last year, I would have told you, spend the first sort of like maybe 20 to 30 minutes with God. So I've got a Bible routine, so I do my Bible routine. Now, I'm not sure if you saw the clip, there was an interview that Denzel Washington did for Gladiator 2, and he was talking about like that when people wake up, they have a tendency to like jump on their phone, go into stuff, get all this, and he was just like, look, just wake up and then just like, don't get out of bed, but just be awake. Just like rest, give yourself maybe like 5-10 minutes, take it easy. And you're just like, yeah, just like do that. Like don't like, just be aware of what's around you, but don't like rush and go to your phone or rush and go to your laptop, go to your computer. You're just like, just lie down for a bit.
Do you not fall asleep?
No, sometimes I have, but like, but like sometimes I'm just like, it is nice because it's almost like, because I also say like, there is a busy, like when you're awake and like you jump into stuff, there is that like busyness that like comes onto you because you're like, okay, cool, I'm awake, I have to do X, Y, and Z. But through doing it, I feel like it's nice because it's like a peaceful way to like start your day. And whether that's like, I don't know, you might like get out of bed, open the blinds, open the blinds when it's warmer, open the windows, and then you'll just like lie back. And you'll like, for me personally, like if I'm up, I get out of bed and like I've gotten out of the bed, I'm not going I've moved around a bit, like I won't go straight back to bed. So for me, I sometimes just do it and I just lie. Maybe I'll hear like, you know, birds outside, maybe I'll hear cars and stuff, but it's almost like a peaceful way because then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna like, I've had my bit of rest, I'm now gonna like launch into my day. Once all of that's done, the usual stuff like, you know, shower, eat, get ready, support people around the house. If I'm not working, like if I'm working, it's like this whole routine's changed. But yeah, I'll then like take a bit slow. Then I'll look at my like I'll keep an eye. So I'll start working on things to pick up the mic. So it might be like, oh, if there's a video that needs to be edited, I'm gonna just commit to like the next 1 hour or 2 hours to edit a video. If it's like you know, working on posts, maybe thinking about like our events, it might be like contacting guest speakers, reviewing stuff. If it's even thinking about like content I want to share, it might be like, okay, cool. So we released this episode last week. You know, I want to drive a bit more traffic to it. What can I do? Not through Pick Up the Mic, but through my own channels to like boost awareness about a particular episode. So sometimes it's just like stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, like I've told people, like it's very much dependent. Because sometimes I might start on a video, I might be like, cool, I'm committing like 2 hours to it, and then software stops working, or like software's having issues, it's not recognizing things. So I'm like, cool, this is now gonna be like my top priority because I need this episode to go out to the person so I can get their episode out on time. But usually, like I will say, like my weekends or my Saturdays are quite different. So one thing that I mentioned on one of the episodes is like I like to clean and I like cleaning.
Nice.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just as naturally. Well, I wouldn't say like it's took obviously like growing up, it took time, but I now like it because it's almost like a simple activity to do that like I'm like cool. I do it and I see the results, and for me it's just like a nice thing to be like, look, like. I'm putting the work in and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. Because I also agree, like what you said, like sometimes with your business, it's not that immediate success. And I'm not saying everyone needs immediate success, but also when things are tough and like it's been a rough week for your business or even just like your career, you're then like, I need to like, I could do with a win. So for me, it's really helpful to like put myself in that mindset to be aware of like, this is stuff that I should be doing and being aware of. But yeah, I'm going to quickly, I need to plug my laptop because I completely forgot to plug my laptop charger in, so I'm going to quickly do this.
Oh, plug the laptop charger in, I see. So it doesn't die. Yeah. We were focused on the cameras.
I was focused on the cameras and I was just like, not aware of that. But yeah, I think what I will say about so let me quickly plug this in so I can look into the camera.
Look into the camera.
There we go. Yeah, one thing I would say about the challenge has been, I think it's been like recognizing that I'm on my own like race. So I think it's one of those things where like you, as a business owner, even not necessarily like comparing yourself to others, but maybe it might be through like, I think like you're saying like imposter syndrome. Sometimes it can be like our own reflection of self. So sometimes we'll put that on ourselves. Sometimes it can either be through like, which isn't great, but like sometimes it can be through like the people that you work with or like the clients that you have or like things like that. And I think it's like what you said there about like recognizing that you don't have to like put so much, you don't need to put yourself on like so much pressure on yourself. You don't need to be like, if I don't achieve this, I'm not a good business owner, or I'm not a good founder, or I have terrible leadership because this didn't happen. It's like, no, like, there's more to being a business owner than just like the results. And I think like one thing that's important is, like you were saying about like growth, like a lot of people think, oh, it's the financial aspect that means that as a business you're doing well. So if you bring in finance, like if you bring in a lot of income, that means you're great. And it's just like, no, actually, like your growth could be your community impact. So it might be like you have a dedicated community, and that's more impactful because you might have like 20 to 30 people who usually come to all of your events. And if those people are committed to you, you might tell them, hey, look, like shop at this brand or go to this place or use this service. And they're like, you know what? I trust you as a business. I trust you as a founder. So what you say, I'm going to take as like, I might do my own research, but I'm like, if you're saying this is good, I know you're an authentic person. This is who you are. Yeah. So I think it's also about that. It's like, so the challenge of like not allowing internal, but I guess also external pressure to like meet certain expectations to get to you. But I think it's also like what you said, like reframing to not focus so much on like the money aspect, but also to be aware of like the community aspect. Because like you said, like we did, like for Pick Up the Mic, we did different bits of like work last year. And a lot of that wasn't necessarily like, I had that planned when we like, let's say like January 2024, that wasn't planned. Some of it, yes, I was aware of. Some of it just came out through just like the impact that we had, or like the impact of the work we had done throughout 2023. So I think it's like what you said there, of just like the challenge can be the pressure that you might put yourself to do certain things or reach certain like milestones. But the reality is, if you focus more on like the growth element, so it's not necessarily I need to have like 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. It might be like, oh, you know, if I feel that someone with 2,500 subscribers on YouTube is someone who's authentic, they maybe release like content every week, or they're very interactive with their community, then it's like, well, I need to do that. I need to figure out like, how do I interact with my community? How do I sort of engage with them? And it might be like, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to do like an Instagram live, a 10-minute Instagram live every Friday, and just tell people, look, this is like a agony aunt. Like, if you want to come and join the live, share what's going on in your life. Like,
oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'll just like, if anyone wants to take it,
I'll take it. You can take it too. But
yeah, like even if it's that, like, it's just like the community aspect of like just giving people like. I think it's, don't get so focused on the numbers, but focus on more of like, you want your community to engage with you, and it's like, okay, how do I do that? So yeah, that would be my answer.
We need to talk about customer service, client engagement. One of the biggest things that irks my soul, this isn't a rant podcast, let me change the perspective, okay? One of the biggest things that I think can help business owners is treating each and every person that engages with your business like they are the make or breaker. Because I think I have barely done any promotion for TLP, right? Like, we've got our memberships, barely any promotion. The thing that's got people buying our memberships and signing up for our free memberships is me hopping on calls with people and just giving them a hand. The people who have been in the community telling a friend, and it's because of the experience they've had in the community. Now, that's not saying PR and promotion and stuff isn't necessary. We're going ham on that this year. But having that foundation of like, anyone that comes into your business, anyone that you engage with should have a great experience is so powerful, because word of mouth is, just imagine like, I don't remember what the thing is called, but you know, one person tells two people tell two people, and then that's four, and then this, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. That's also a very ideal marketing tool, and people are more likely to get the ideal service that you're trying to sell or product that you're trying to sell based on word of mouth than anything you can do on Instagram or 100%. Or Google ads or anything like that. So yeah, no, that really shook something in my head just then. But definitely agony aunt. I think Instagram lives are coming back.
I do. I do.
I really think they're coming back. We should be jumping on the bandwagon. We should.
I'm happy to.
Yeah, because I've been on a couple of Instagram lives and I'm like, they're actually just sitting here talking, and I love that.
That's true. I think the thing that like I know not even only just like podcasters, but I know like people have said is like person who's got it to a T is like Kai Cenat. Like his like 24-hour month-long stream. I was just like, that is...
Imagine. Yeah. People are tuning in to just watch you live your life, basically. Obviously, you've got guests on and stuff like that, but...
I was just like, that's...
There are people who they would never log off the whole time.
The whole time. I was just like, that's... That. I don't know, man. I was just like, that to me, it takes... Because... And even to be able to do what he's doing, like, you have to keep that... You can't let your energy drop. Literally. Like, you have to keep that energy. You have to keep it going. You have to keep yourself motivated. And I was like, damn, man. Like,
that's a lot of energy that someone has to have. But also, it's like, it's good because people just like him for him. You know, I don't think he has to try too hard to be someone else. Well, I hope not, because I like Kai Cenat's personality. I hope it's actually his authentic self. Because that's, it's a lot easier when you just find the people who kind of like flock to your personality than trying to put on another personality.
100%.
Yeah. Can I ask you a random question? I don't know why this has come to my head. You know when you do your speeches?
Yeah.
What goes through your mind? Like when you did the speech at the graduation ceremony, and you were already alumni, right, at that point. What goes through your head as you get up to that stage? I don't know how my brain has gone to this place, but I'm really interested to know.
You know what? I think the main thing for me was so ideally, my ideal thing would have been one sheet of either have a teleprompter would be the best thing, but obviously like I'm not in control of that. So I was like, cool, I've got the piece of paper. So the biggest thing for me was when I was walking on the stage was don't trip. I was like, don't laugh, don't do anything embarrassing. And then I was just like, when I was moving, I don't think people can really see it, but like with the paper, I was very much aware that like, when I'm changing the pages, I have to make sure that like the page doesn't drop or I don't lose it. Because like, if I lose the page, I don't know this off by heart. Like I've practiced. So the whole time I'm like, okay, cool. I'm reading it out. And I was just like, look, I can't muck it up. I'm reading off what I'm saying. I'm like doing this. And then I was like, cool. Okay, I'm gonna move the page over. And then you can see it. I sort of like slowly like do it. And then there's also a part of my head that's just like, if this drops, this is going to be awkward. So I'm just trying to keep my head clear. I'm just like, just focus on what you're reading. Don't focus on anything else. It was good. It was fun. I think the video doesn't really show it, but like there was one point at the end where like it's finished. I'm taking my the booklet off. I'm like going off stage, and the whole time I'm just there was a piece of paper that was behind it. It fell on the floor, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna pick this up because this is gonna be an awkward moment. I was like, look, if they need it, they can come back and get it. But I was just like, this is gonna just be so.
So it wasn't even your piece of paper.
No, it wasn't even my paper. It was something under. Like literally, I put my like notes on there, and then like was reading them out, and then I was like picking them up. Everyone's clapping. I picked up my water bottle from the floor, and then I was just like, the paper fell. And I was just like, I could go back for it, but I was like, nah, if it's gonna be too awkward at this point, so I was like, let's keep walking. I'm sure someone on stage will like pick it up if needed. Okay. But yeah.
Someone who's not thinking about it so much will pick it up.
But yeah. And I think the final thing was just like people think I could hear, like obviously like you do it in front of like, so the context is for the speech, you had to like let them know what you were gonna say. So I practiced it with the university's team, I practiced it with other people who were giving speeches as well. So like, I knew from their interactions and through like, and also, as I've mentioned before, I kept it secret. So my old manager at the time, like she was supporting me with reading it. So like I'd read it to different people and heard their interaction. So I knew like naturally where people may laugh, they might find things funny. But obviously when you're there on stage, I'm like, people might not get these jokes. Or like the people on stage, I was thinking they might just be like, oh, this is way too like chill. It's not very like formal for the setting. So like there's a joke where I say like, oh, I faced like failure, like hardships, had tough times. And then I said like, oh yeah, but enough about my relationships. Let's like talk about like what we're here for. And then, so I said it. And then I paused, and then like I could see people in the crowd laughing a bit, and then behind me, I'm like hearing someone laughing. So I'm like, as soon as I had the lecturer's laugh, I was like, okay, cool, this is good.
This is actually funny.
This is actually funny. And then apparently afterwards, like so the person I practiced the speech with, she was just like, oh, I don't know if you knew, but like so I don't know what his title is. He's not the vice chancellor. I think he's the vice provost, but someone high up in the university.
Yeah.
He was leading the ceremony. And apparently he was like laughing the whole time. He was cracking, like he was just laughing it. He was smiling. He was enjoying it. Now I couldn't hear him at all. So to me, I thought everyone behind me would be like, oh, like this was good, but it's, this isn't like, he's not thinking academics. He's not talking about like how Brunel was so amazing. And I was just like, mental health is really important to us at Pick Up the Mic, and we love to share resources that can support your mental health. And that's why we are so glad to have today's sponsor. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get you started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live appointments when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't right for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you. More scheduling flexibility and at an affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/pickupthemic. I've also linked them down below in the description. So again, that's betterhelp.com/pickupthemic, MIC, and start your journey today. And he was just like, he was the most, like, you were making people laugh, you were engaging and funny. And then what was funny to me, I didn't know this at the time, but my dad and I were both wearing the same Nigerian clothes. So even like, when I got on stage, people didn't even need to know them. Like, people saw my dad and were just like, oh, so that was your son that just put... And like, so the whole time, everyone's just, like afterwards, I come off the stage, I don't see my parents straight away, but then people who were coming up to my dad were just like, wow, this was so incredible. There were Nigerians in the crowd that were just like, look man, we've been looking to be represented. Your son's up there on stage talking about being Nigerian, I'm so proud. Afterwards, I was just like, look man, the most important thing was voice not cracking, paper not falling, and I didn't want to trip.
That's it.
Because I was just like, yeah man, if I was like, it doesn't even matter how good the speech is. I was like, if I trip on stage, I was like, this is the live stream and it gets recorded.
You just have to start doing push-ups.
I was just like,
that's all I think is if you fall forward, you must begin doing push-ups like you fell on purpose. I would get one in, I can't do more than one. But at least if I do that one, I'm like, yeah, I'm just showing you guys. What else can you do? What else can you do? Sorry, I took that on the craziest tangent.
But yeah, I would say it was just that. Like, you just, like, I keep my mind empty and, like, it is hard to, like, especially, but that one was fine because, like, I had written out what I was going to say. So it's like, speeches like that are great because I don't really I personally prefer improvisation than like reading stuff out of a script. But for that one, I was just like, look, well, one, they said they needed to know what I was going to say, so I didn't say anything like, against you, yeah. But I was also just like, it also was useful because I was like, there was one bit that I improvised, which was the bit at the end where I basically say like, I also want to let you all know that like my family and friends and like only a select few people knew that I was even going to do this today. My family in the crowd, they didn't know this, but you know, I can't wait to see how they're going to react afterwards. But I like that to me showed me that like, having a bit of a basis is always good. Because even like you said, I know I go on tangents as well. So I was just like, that was the other thing that I was just like, I need to make sure that this script is good, it's focused, it's funny, it flows. And I was just like, the worst thing, like the thing that I wouldn't like was for people to just walk out of this and just be like, so this is like another guy just like talking about how amazing he is or like how amazing the institution was. Because I was just like, the worst thing I would like is like, I'm overhearing someone saying, you know, the speech was like whack. I'm like, you know, why are you talking about like his experience? Because I'd be like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. A lot of people found it funny. I even like someone that was on the podcast, she was sitting in front of me. So when we went up for our certificates, I was like, look, I can't really tell you what's going to happen, but you will see me on stage again. And if you could just like get a few photos, maybe record me, she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, look, I don't want to tell you. I want it to be a kind of a surprise. Even like my siblings or like my work colleagues, I was just like, oh yeah, you know, if you can watch the graduation ceremony, like it'll be great. And they were just like, okay, we'll keep an eye out. And I was like, yeah, don't watch the whole thing. Like you don't need to see me walk across the stage. Like I was like, just watch towards the end. Like just keep an eye on the screen. So yeah, to me it was super funny because they were all just like, after they were just like, you want to say?
You never told us.
But yeah, I'm always grateful for that experience. It was really fun. I've always said like, I'm open for it again. My biggest hope is that I don't have to actually do a PhD and I can just get an honorary doctorate.
That'd be sick.
I would love it. I would love it. I would slap doctor after everything. You would see me...
After everything, before
everything. You see me like, generally you see me like Dr. Jeffrey. That I'm telling you, like, I don't know if I'll ever do a PhD, but my prayer is that I'll just get the honorary.
Do you know what's so funny to me? I feel like when people become like doctors, even their first names, they put doctor before their first name. Because usually it's like doctor, last name. But people love being doctors so much that they're like doctor after before the first name, doctor before the last name, doctor before the middle name, doctor just alone. Just call me doctor. New nickname. That's it.
But yeah, we're gonna go on to, and also I have realised there is someone in the room after us, so I will keep us concise with these questions.
Yeah.
But also I like the free flowing nature. I might change. I might change some of these. I'm gonna shift stuff around. Okay. So I'm gonna combine these two. So it's both about scaling the Lady Powerhouse, but it's also about impact in community. Okay. So the first part is, let me ask it in parts. First part is, over the last year, how has the Lady Powerhouse evolved?
Over the last year, how has the Lady Powerhouse evolved? So, over the last year, we have held 5 in-person events, 11 virtual events, and we now have 100 women in the community. I would say the biggest piece of evolution has been our in-person events. The year before, which was our first year in business, was just hesitation after hesitation. So really, I think 2024 was like our first real year in business. And it just makes me so excited. I just think that the evolution, it was a big evolution for the team. So like myself, I've got now a board of directors who advise, and just having their knowledge and insight and their experience on the team has really been able to progress us. But I really think that we're going to see the fruits of the seeds we planted in 2024 in 2025. So ask me that question again next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. With the impact and community part, obviously, as you mentioned, you celebrated 2 years of the Lady Powerhouse this month, which is an incredible achievement. And I already said speak to your event, so I won't rehash that.
You can say I'm joking.
But no. Like I said, it's a bit like, there's a bit later on. These guys will know. But so I'll save it for later.
Okay.
But yeah, you also are very committed to empowering female founders. So over the last year, what tangible impact have you seen within your community? And I guess in addition to that, you've mentioned, you've had different types of events, you've had different ways that you supported your community. But I would say, I'm going to make it one, what initiative, and this isn't to say the rest aren't good, what initiative are you most proud of? So what tangible impact have you seen within your community? And of all the initiatives you do, what is one that you are most proud of?
Oh no. Can I do 2 but do them real quick? Okay, so the first one is our family meetings. So we hold monthly virtual family meetings, which are basically like accountability sessions, but also a space for women to celebrate each other, support each other, kind of voice any issues they're having and come up with solutions together. Every single session, the feedback is, I needed that for the next month. It sets me up for the next month. Like, I need to be here. Once you start coming to them, you're like, this is what I need to keep going, right? So really, really, really love that. The second one is the Dream Big Brunch, which is our like flagship event. We did it twice last year, but we're going to start doing it once a year until we expand into other cities. But yeah, that just every Dream Big Brunch, we have like a community spotlight. So we have like 3 to 5 women from the community kind of like step up in the moment and just decide, okay, I'm just going to talk about what I do, which tends to be quite scary, you know, if you're not prepared for it. But wow, the growth, the way I see these women show up, women who are shy, women who are like, I could never speak in front of people, just gaining the confidence and feeling safe enough and bold enough and proud enough of themselves to be able to step onto the stage and just like talk about what they do. It's been incredible. Plus, the event is top tier. So yeah, I like that initiative too.
Okay. I like it. I like it. We're going to come to the last question, and we do have a bit of time. So if you do want to ask me anything after this, you're more than welcome to. But look into the future. So let's imagine, you know, this is almost your recap next year. So what's next for you in the Lady Powerhouse? Are there any exciting projects, collaborations, goals that are on the horizon for the next 12 months that looking to January 2025, you're going to turn around and be like, we achieved this, and this, and we're so happy that we did? Obviously, like the ones that you can share.
Yeah. I love looking forward. I love looking forward. Do you know what? So we just launched our From Potential to Progress program, which has 10 women on it 11 women on it now, who are, you know, they just want to take their business to the next level, right? They're sick and tired of just being in this place of like, I want, and they're actually ready to execute, but not just execute, but see results, right? So we did the opening supper club for that program last Saturday. And we actually had Shakira from Misunderstood come and do a writing workshop. Now, in that writing workshop, we looked 5 years into the future. And that's why I smile, because we did this thing of like, what do we want? We kind of took ourselves to 2030. I was going to say 2030. We took ourselves to 2030 and acted like we wrote like it was us then. It was so powerful. So over the next 12 months, a lot more community members, more events, more family meetings. They're monthly. So yeah, we'll do 12 this time, not 11. I want to start doing like Q&As with industry professionals, Instagram lives, agony aunts. You have to help me come up with a name that matches the Lady Powerhouse, like the vibe.
We can work on that.
Yeah. And I think, do you know what? So one thing I've learned is to be very flexible, because sometimes you want to be a bit too specific about the goals that you achieve, that sometimes you push for goals that maybe you should have let go, but also that you don't make space for goals that you didn't expect to happen in that time frame. So I believe that more crazy stuff are going to happen next year. Oh, I do have something else. I'll finish. More crazy things are going to happen next year that are just going to blow my mind out of the water. But for now, they're the ones that are stuck in stone. Apart from, we just got another grant for another project, which is like a docuseries, but I think we're going to turn it into like a social media campaign docuseries that kind of gets to follow a few women, promote some of their work. That's one thing I really love doing, is being able to take women from the community and spotlight them. That's the big word, is to spotlight them and to put them out there and push them and just showcase the incredible stuff that they're doing. Yeah, so I'd say, yeah. I don't remember the actual question, but I hope I answered it.
You answered the question. You answered the question. But yeah, I'm not going to hand over to you. We've got about like 10 minutes. If you've got any questions you want to ask me, yeah. Okay.
What are you excited about over the next year?
So there is something towards the end of last year I started thinking about. It's potentially something, I don't have it confirmed, so at this point of recording, I don't want to necessarily go into too much detail, but it's something that we're aiming to use it to support like trying to figure out who, because it will either be like businesses, or we're trying to see if we want to target to a specific group or if we want to open it up to like anyone.
Right.
But it's essentially supposed to help people like with their like trying to achieve their goals, but it's also supposed to sort of like enable this sense of like, you don't need to necessarily look far to find the people that can help you to achieve these goals. So I guess as you've mentioned, both through your own business, but also through yourself as a founder, I'm sure you like know the importance of collaboration, and you've shared that already. But yeah, it's like I know that like there are people, for example, who I support through this program I work at, that I know if I need like marketing advice, I can go to them, and they might just be like, hey Jeffrey, let's just have a coffee and chat. And just be like, look, I think you should do X, Y, and Z. But I also know that I might be like, they might turn around and say, hey, look, I'm looking to buy camera equipment. And I'm like, oh, well, have you tried this one, this one, this one? Like, what's your budget? What are you working with? So there's also this power of like knowledge exchange that I feel like people don't always feel they need, like, either they have access to or they can start these conversations because they're like, oh, if I ask like this person, if we're on the same program and I ask them for like advice or support, I'm gonna have to give them money. And it's like, no, like sometimes it can literally just be a value exchange. And that's perfectly fine. Like no one's gonna be like, you're not paying me money. I know your financial situation, but you're not gonna pay me, so sorry, I can't work with you. But yeah, I feel like it's that. So essentially that is like the big thing that like I want to either test it this year and do like a demo version with like a small group and then launch it hopefully towards the end of this year. We also have obviously like a 4-year celebration. Don't ask me when. I don't have the celebration, like the actual anniversary is March, but we have a Women's History Month panel, so that's going to take priority in March. So probably it'll be April again. But yeah, I want to do that again. I have mentioned, I don't know when this episode will come out, but I've mentioned before that I want it to be like, so while the 3-year one was very much focused on Pick Up the Mic and its journey and like where it came from to where it was at 3 years time, this year I want it to be more about the people. So like it's more about like giving flowers to like people who have supported us through the last like year, well not even the last year, but like the last 4 years of Pick Up the Mic. And I've already like, I think I've got an idea for it and I'm working on it at the moment, but the biggest thing I want to tell people, so like everyone probably who's watched, who's been a guest speaker, is just like, could I get it? Biggest thing I want to say is like, I've shouted out flowers to people that have been involved with it from the start as well. But my biggest priority with this one is like, I want it to be people that maybe they don't necessarily know the impact that they've had on Pick Up the Mic, or they know the impact that they've had on like members of the team or like things like that. But it's like, no, you might be like, I don't know, the first organisation, like, actually let me not give clues, so people don't, I haven't decided if I'm going to let people know in advance, but I might have to so people don't get stage fright. And we'll also see if people will do speeches. I don't want to put people on the spot and embarrass them too much, but we want to give people their flowers. Like a lot of people have been involved in like for where Pick Up the Mic is today, there's a lot of people that have helped it to get there. And even arguably within the last year, there's a lot of people that have helped it to get to where it is now. So definitely want to give them their flowers. And then the last thing, I guess similar to you, we want to do more events. We are exploring like what that will look like, but this like through just, I guess, different people seeing that we've done events in the last year, we've also had people that have been on the podcast reach out and say they want to also do events. So we're also trying, for me, I'm just like, there's no point in two people wanting to do the same type of event, and like, we might as well just collaborate. So I'm working with them to collaborate on different events, and some of them may be specifically themed to maybe like women in STEM or like women in the creative industries, or it might be for like Black creatives. Some of it may just be more like we're not saying like if you're not any of those groups you can't come, but like it might also be more general ones. But I want to move away from like traditional networking events, because I do, as an attendee, know that for some people they're like, this is very awkward. I don't want to necessarily just come into a space and like
walk around bump into people and be like, sorry, can I join your conversation?
We want to make it more fun. So there is a business that we've worked with. I won't say who they are, so if they don't want to do this, I'm not like putting them in a difficult position. But there's a business that we worked with before, and like I've supported them. So they have a networking activity, and I want to sort of like embed that more into Pick Up the Mic. So to make it a natural, and we like, yeah, let me start there so people don't figure out who it is. But like, we want to work with them more in that sense because like I've seen that activity done, and I was just like, this is really good, and I feel like it's a natural, like it's a cool way to network and get to know people. And I was like, rather than I can like basically almost like duplicate it, come up with some questions myself and get people to talk. But I like literally like what I was saying before, like what's the point of me trying to take someone else's idea when I could be like actually
work with them on it.
Yeah, and just spotlight them.
I have an event, session, something that I want to collab with you on.
Okay.
We can talk about it after.
Okay.
In case you say no. I don't need to say no live on
I'm always big and I'm always up for doing collaboration. So I will say now I'm more than happy to work on that.
Okay.
I'm on camera now, so if I'm not, the evidence is there.
I'm gonna, if I don't see this clip in the podcast, I'm coming for your hard drive.
Come on. But yeah, any other questions before we wrap up?
Any other questions? No, I feel like we need a whole nother one.
Okay.
I think I have too much fun here. I actually think I have so much fun here. And I just want to talk forever. So next time we'll book it for 2 hours.
We'll book it for 2 hours.
We can do like three mini ones at the same time.
I like it. You also are like, I don't know, I'm saying this live, so people at work, you're more than welcome to come on any of our other ones.
Nice.
There is actually another podcast that I think would be good for you to come on. So
which one?
Our main one, the first one that we started with, the student guide.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I will tell you more about that after the recording.
For sure.
Before we wrap up though, again, I know I said in the last episode I would have it ready. I don't. So I will have it. Well, I'll make sure that like pictures pop up when the guests have received it. But we have a section for this podcast, first time ever. Well, not first time in this episode, but first time in this podcast history that we call the Level Up. And the Level Up is basically ours is in like both the team and the community, but it's to say like, I'm a business founder. I understand how difficult a year can be. I understand how things can work, situations on both a global scale, but also on a local scale and on a personal scale can cause businesses to be successful or to close. And the Level Up is essentially just me here saying that you have done incredible work over the last 12 months. I told you, this is what I was talking about, like I won't rehash the speech, but you've done incredible work over the last 12 months. And as I mentioned, you literally a few weeks ago celebrated 2 years of your business. So to me, I'm very much looking forward to you coming back onto this podcast next year, not only celebrating 3 years of your business, but you will then be coming back to see that growth again and seeing like all the incredible work that you've done. Like I said, I'm looking forward to year 5. Year 5, big celebration. I'm expecting like rented hall.
You're not ready, and I'm not ready for your year 5 either.
You know what? Generally, we do like. Generally, the fact that it's next year, I was just like, I have a massive plan for it. I will be contacting people about it shortly because it's it's going to be.
Which it goes without saying. I hope you know that if you ever need support on anything, then okay.
Yes.
Just making sure you know.
But yeah, just to basically say that like you've done incredible work over the last year. So the Level Up, I don't have it. We do have a gift to give you. I will. But yeah, it's our thing to say like we know how difficult a year can be for a business and to celebrate the achievements, the trials, the challenges, the successes of the last 12 months. It's our way of saying congratulations on the incredible work that you've done. But yeah, like I said, I don't have it today. There have been a few issues with the trophy, so I'm I was supposed to keep it a secret. I just realised I just blurt it out. But yeah, it's a trophy. We're having a few issues with it, so I will just sort it out. But I'll make sure that you get it, and we'll include a photo somewhere. It'll show up on one of these cameras of you with the trophy. But yeah, this is basically to say congratulations on your.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to get you a trophy too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of us.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of all the other entrepreneurs who have been on the Hustle Chronicles and who have come back as well. Because, it's not easy.
Yeah, funny enough, you know your sister was the first person.
Yeah, she told me. I was like, we swapped around. we swapped. I like it. I like it.
But yeah, we're not going to wrap up. It has been great speaking to you, Mayo, about your business and all the stuff that you've done over the last year. If people want to know about all these events you've got coming up, they want to connect, they want to join, they want to support, maybe they even want to host one of your events.
Yeah.
How do people contact you?
So, our website, www.theladypowerhouse.co.uk, our Instagram, The Lady Powerhouse, LinkedIn, Kowiat, Kowiat, Ajimobi, AJIM for mobile, OB for Bravo, I. Send me a message, connect. We're always open to collaborations. We love collaborations. A lot of our events are collaborated events, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Sign up, come to a family meeting, do a taster, see if you like it. I know you will. And then, we'll go from there.
Perfect, cool. But yeah, we're going to wrap things up there. Thank you so much for being an amazing audience. If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe is always appreciated. If you want to make sure that you don't miss this episode or any other bits of content on the Pick Up the Mic YouTube channel, make sure you click the notification bell. If you want to support us, receive some merch, and also get discounts on when, like I said, we're doing bigger events this year, then please do make sure that you check out our Patreon or YouTube channel membership. Links are down in the description. And finally, if you want to check out our other content, please head to the main Pick Up the Mic YouTube channel. And if you scroll down under the For You page, you will see a section which says Pick Up the Mic podcast, and it will have our anime channel, our gaming channel, and our sci-fi and fantasy channel. So you can check out all of those, subscribe to them, click the notification bell for them as well, so you don't miss out on their content. But yeah, we're gonna wrap things up there. We're gonna close. I don't really like. I have an idea for this, so I won't say. But also, I know that.
Mic drop.
No, because you know, it's good for the student guide. Like the way I wrap it up is I say like, oh, we're gonna close the. So I've counted the student guide as like a comprehensive book. So each season is like a iteration of the book, and each episode is a chapter within that book, which has led me to think of ideas for this, but that's like future stuff. I won't say anything just yet, but I've got some ideas about what we could do with this. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna call this. I'll figure it out next episode, but we're gonna end the episode here, wrap it up. But yeah, it's been great having you guys, and we'll see you all in the next one.